and we're ready to go. Now, once your insulation is in and you're going to cover the walls, I personally like plywood. Plywood, when it's screwed to the studs, adds a lot of strength to the wall, gives you plenty of places to hang things on. I think it's much better than sheetrock. Welcome back. You can see we've made a lot of progress here. Now, we started this project somewhere around late winter. It's now mid-spring. All the trees are in bloom. It's really pretty here. I've got all the insulation done, all the plywood's on the walls, 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of paint. Did most of it myself, a little bit of help from friends. Place is looking real good. It's bright. It's a great airy place to work in. I also like outside light. Had a couple of small windows, one on each end of the shop. I replaced those with larger windows, and I cut 2 windows in on the back wall. I like the natural light. I like to be able to look outside and see what's happening. Is it raining? Is the sun out? If you're in the shop with the doors closed and you don't have any windows, it's like being in a cave. So it's really bright in here now. It's like a real shop. Our next step is going to be compressed air. Now, when I got here, this compressor house was here. And you can tell by the foundation, there was a horizontal compressor, probably something with a 120-gallon tank. I never did see it. It was gone when I got here. So when I figured out what I needed for air, I wanted to get about a 7.5 horsepower, 120-gallon tank, horizontal compressor. They're pretty expensive. I didn't have it in the budget. So I started shopping and I found this vertical compressor. I had to raise the roof here for clearance, okay? I poured a slab, that was real simple. Build a form, dig a little trench, mix up 4 80-pound bags of Shaycrete in a wheelbarrow, that's always fun. I put some rebar in, poured the slab, and when it cured, set the compressor on it, lag shields, the compressor was mounted. And if you have your compressor outside, you want to make sure it has good airflow. If you're in a real cold climate, you want to be able to enclose it in the wintertime, but you still have to have airflow so it doesn't overheat. Generates a lot of heat when it runs. And of course, I wired it properly. Cable goes inside, got a double pole 30-amp breaker. I have a switch on the compressor, but I also have a switch inside so I can shut it off. Remember to drain it every night. Actually, this is a pretty nice little compressor for the money. Cast iron pump, it's got an oil in the crankcase. It's made in the United States of America, got a 5 horsepower motor. Here's our switch, it's on and off, it's automatic. And everything, the compressor cycles, when the pressure drops off, builds back up. Now the deal is, you have to drain it every day. I'm also going to install this. If you haven't seen one of these, you can get them in any compressor store. It's an automatic drain valve, hooks into the load line. When the compressor cycles on and off, this thing takes for a second. It goes psh, like that, and it does it every time the compressor cycles, gets rid of the moisture, which is critical. You want to keep your tank nice and dry. If you look over here, you can see what I've got is a big elbow here, 1.5-inch line, probably a little overkill, but eventually I want a big horizontal compressor with a 120-gallon tank, so when I run a power file board or something like that, the compressor won't wear itself out. This is good for about 10.3 CFM, or cubic feet per minute, at 90 PSI. It'll do most of what I got to do here, but the main thing is I got a shut-off valve if I have any service work to do inside, and we'll follow that nice flex line inside. I'm going to show you a great air pipe system. Now I'm getting pretty excited here because I'm getting close to working in the shop, and that's what this is all about. Here's our 1.25-inch flex line coming from the compressor, right from the ball valve. Of course, the compressor has a switch on it, and it's also automatic. But I've ran the wire in here. This is all done properly. It's grounded. I can turn the compressor on and off right from there. It works great. It's in the panel, double throw, 30-amp breaker. Now, here's our air line. This is from Prevost Corporation. They make great stuff. It's easy to install. It's light. This is aluminum pipe. You cut it with a tubing cutter, you deburr it, push it together, and you're done. Great manifold here. This manifold has a little drain in the bottom, so you can drain any of the moisture or condensation you get in your line at each one. So follow our 1.25-inch line that comes out here. This is an 1.25-inch NPT, or National Pipe Thread elbow, standard plumbing, and there's an adapter that hooks it to Prevost 32mm aluminum pipe. All done, perfectly plumb, supported well. It goes vertical, hooks up to a T, and goes into the entire system. We turn in the corner with an elbow, come along here. Every 10 feet, I've got a drop with double outlets. I've got air everywhere. It's going to be good and safe. This horizontal tube comes down here. It's got a little bit of a fall in it. This is our main system drain with a stainless steel and brass ball valve. I can get rid of all the condensation. If you follow this line down, again, this is from Prevost also. It's a high quality brass and stainless steel valve. I'm going to put a hose on it, put it into a bucket. All you have to do is crack this a little bit. Bang, you get rid of any of the condensation that gets by your dryer. I've really fallen in love with this Prevost pipe system. It's so flexible and configurable. Anywhere there's a horizontal line, you can put a drop. I put a drop here on my main beam, and I put a ball valve, which is the service line to my hose reel. This Prevost air reel is real high quality. You can see it's fully enclosed. That way none of the dust and grime from the shop gets in and hurts it. And of course, it's got a 3/8 hose, and plenty of air volume, it's flexible. It's got a high flow coupler. And this thing is 10 meters or 33 feet. It'll reach anywhere in the shop, even outside the door. This will definitely be my primary air source. All right, we've been talking about aluminum pipe. You can see this aluminum pipe from Prevost goes all the way around the shop. It's flexible, you can add on. You haven't seen any PVC. You don't want to use PVC. It's dangerous stuff. What makes PVC dangerous is it's not rated for compressed gases. It's rated for liquid. It doesn't like UV sunlight rays. The oil from the compressor attacks the glue, attacks the pipe. And the worst part about PVC, besides the fact that it's illegal, is it doesn't rupture, it shatters. If you've got a lot of air pressure, a PVC pipe shatters, it can really hurt you. Don't use it. The Prevost aluminum pipe is really easy to use, easy to install. Now, if you're not using PVC, which you won't, okay, you can use black iron or galvanized pipe. That'll work, but it's heavy, it's expensive, and every time you cut a piece, you've got to thread it. If you're down that road, you know what I'm talking about. The Prevost pipe, real simple. You get the length, you cut it with the tubing cutter, you deburr the inside, you deburr the outside. Now here's a manifold. You take this in here, push it in till you feel it bottom. You tighten it up, they have a spanner. Give it a snig like that. You're done. This makes it real easy to install. You can configure it any way you want. You move, you can take it with you. And this whole Prevost pipe system is super flexible. You can add anything you want to it. And to put these drops on, it's real simple. Take these off, you put the drop on the pipe where you want it, and you clamp it. See this hole right here? A 9/16 hole saw. You drill the hole, then you just flip this off, you flip it around, put it on there, you tighten it up, bang, you're done. You know, if you've been using air for a long time, you're familiar with these. This is what I've seen since I was a boy. You have to pull it back, push it in, that's your coupler. And watch what happens when I pull the slide back. Prevost safety couplings, these things work great. They're ergonomic, okay? They got a great release factor. Now I got air pressure on this, probably about 90 to 100 PSI. See what happens? It exhausts the air and traps the fitting. All right, so the air system's in with the air outlets and all the electrical outlets we've got. There's no excuse for having hoses and cables on the ground that can trip you. And speaking of the floor, that's our next step. We're going to show you how to prep a floor and put something rock solid down that'll really make this garage pop out and make it ready to work. You know, we've got so much information to give you. If you follow along, you're going to end up with a great garage too.
Sam Mamolo is a nationally recognized master mechanic. He can showcase your products in this video and explain them with authority. Here's Sam's contact info. Category exclusives are available now.